I actually find sometimes it's very helpful either at the beginning or in the conversation to define the opposite, which the terms were coined by Carol Dweck out of the University of Stanford, and she coined the terms growth mindset and then the opposite being fixed mindset. So growth mindset is a belief system that suggests one's intelligence can be grown or developed with persistence. That would be intelligence or talents or skills, with persistence, effort, and a focus on learning, as opposed to a fixed mindset, a belief system that suggests the person has a predetermined amount of intelligence, skills, or talents. And this chart, which I got just online, I found very helpful for me as an educator to go through these steps and to think how these two terms, growth mindset and fixed mindset, how they work with these areas. So with skills, you believe it's something you're born with. If you have a fixed mindset, kind of that's all you've got, it's limited. With a growth mindset, we believe that skills come from hard work and that you can always improve. That idea of presuming competence. We can always grow, we can always improve. Challenges, and we see this in our students a lot, how they respond to challenges. With a fixed mindset, challenges are to be avoided. Because if you only have so much, you don't want to expose the fact that you don't know, because there's no hope of improving if you think you already have all that you're ever going to get. So you avoid challenges, and you believe they reveal a lack of skill and tend to give up easily, again, because it's too vulnerable to try. So with effort, or with a growth mindset then, with challenges, you think they should be embraced and an opportunity to grow. And we actually see students being more persistent because they know there's a benefit to the investment of the effort in challenges. So effort in a fixed mindset, you think it's unnecessary. This is an important point. A lot of our students, I think, look at other people and think, what's the point? I'll never be that good, so why should I even try? And they look at people who are doing better than them, or even in their minds they think are doing better. They're not necessarily. And they look and they say, I'm not even going to try because it will never amount to anything. So they don't think effort is necessary. They see their peers as succeeding without effort. They don't see the effort that their peers put in because they're blinded by this idea that they were just born that way. So with growth mindset, we believe effort is essential and it's a path to skill development and mastery. With feedback, we see this in our students, they get defensive with a fixed mindset. Oh, they take it personally. And with a growth mindset, wouldn't it be lovely if when we gave our students feedback, they said, well, thank you for that lovely feedback. I'll take it into consideration. Perhaps I'll grow. Maybe we won't get there, but at least maybe we can get our students open to feedback and to see the value in feedback. And with setbacks, in a fixed mindset, we tend to blame others and get discouraged. And with setbacks in a growth mindset, we can use this as a wake-up call to try harder and try differently and to learn from our setbacks. I really like that as an educator, that chart to kind of get me into the details of fixed and growth mindset. In growth mindset, that little word, yet, those three letters are like golden. Anyone asks you a question and they're looking for a growth mindset, to say yet. So that idea that we all have things to learn, and this transfers to our kids. I don't know how to read yet. I don't know how to read and I don't know how to read yet are very different statements. I'm not good at multiplication yet. I'm not good at throwing the ball yet. And so it's opened up again, those positive and possible futures, because yet opens the door in that direction. And to continue on the self-talk of growth mindset, this is one of my newer visuals that just I shared last month. I love alphabets, I love the words. And talking about growth mindset, I was really excited to share this on social media. I was like, oh great, I have something new to share, because I love the feedback and the connection that I have with other people. But I can tell you, the very first time that I shared any of my visual work online, I was saying, I'm not an artist. Why would this is probably wrong. This isn't going to be valuable to anyone. I was really nervous. I was just like, oh, this will expose people and I do, all my stuff is hand drawn. which some people go, wow, and then I go, but it's not on the computer. Oh, but I don't know how to do that. Oh, I should be doing so it's triggered there all the time. And I'm so grateful that I did it, because it's just added richness to my life. And so and that's the same with, probably for the first year, I was always, what if something's wrong here, or this isn't good enough? And now with that practice, it is a muscle that we can grow. This time I was like, I can't wait to share this, because people will respond to me, and I know people are passionate about growth mindset. Maybe this will help them. I wonder how they're going to use it. So that idea of growth mindset starting with us, and that's something that we can do to model. So I alluded to it earlier. I really believe that the language we use is really important. It does have an effect on the futures that we create. And growth mindset really talks about language and the language we use and what a difference it makes if we're saying I can't, or I can't yet, or that'll never happen, to I wonder how. And it opens up possible and positive futures. So this was a graphic that I made probably about a year ago, just thinking about it was for our EA program, and just trying to get a switch in thinking. So instead of thinking he's not ready for school, we might say, how can we get school ready for him or her? That slight switch. So it's opening up possibilities. We don't have enough resources. What can I do with the resources I have? And with a few of these, I always want to put a bit of a qualifier there. I think that we should be advocating for more resources. So I don't mean to say, just make do with what you have. But while we're advocating and trying to change the big system, we also have to be honest that we have students that are going to be in our classrooms and in our schools on Monday, and in the meantime, what can we do with the resources we have? So it's not just suck it up sort of attitude. It's an idea of, in the meantime, we're going to be doing the best we can with our resources. She needs to be pulled out to a separate setting. I believe there is a time and a place for a separate setting. But can we make sure that every child has a sense of belonging and expand the amount of time that they are in classrooms and with their peers? I need more education assistant time. That is so often true. In our district, we don't even have the bodies. So in the meantime, what can this child do independently? And can we build on that? And like we were saying with the PATH process, start with strengths and find more places to use that. And perhaps then we can support them even without that extra body. Again, requesting funds for extra EA time is great. In the meantime, what can we do? We've tried this strategy before. We've all heard that. Did any part of it work? Can we try again? Did I try long enough? What tweak can we make? So it's that possibilities. I wasn't trained for this. We have all come across things that we are not trained for. And so where can I look for help? Where can I learn more? And growth mindset for me, it's taken a lot of the shame about asking for help out of the equation. So I'm willing to go to somebody and say, I don't know this. Can you help me? And maybe they'll say yes, maybe they say no. But I'm way more comfortable with that. I don't feel this need to pretend to know it all or to pretend to have the answers. So it's that idea that there's more room for vulnerability and for honesty, and I think we all benefit when that happens. This idea of won't versus can't comes from Ross Greene's work and is really complemented by Stuart Shanker's work as well. So moving from won't to can't, Ross Greene has a YouTube video that is very short, and he says it so beautifully, and this sort of sums it up. That idea that if say there's behavior, the student's not cooperative, that we would, in a fixed mindset, say they just won't cooperate. In a growth mindset, we could say they can't cooperate right now. What's getting in their way? So it opens up possibilities, it opens up curiosity, it stirs compassion, and we start moving forward rather than a fixed mindset that kind of stops us. End of story, they just won't. It opens up to more possibility. So it was really interesting. This is the first version of this graphic, and I've been passionate about growth mindset all along, and I made a new one. See the little green square? I don't know why they can't yet. There's the difference. So how can we help them? Can we reduce stress? Can we meet needs? Can we teach lagging skills? So that idea of yet actually, and that growth mindset is so much embedded in the work that we already do. So when we're sitting around, this is the graphic that is probably most useful for you to share with your colleagues before you begin planning, and say, you know what, we've all been at those IEPs and there's 12 professionals around the table. We should come up with a brilliant plan with all that expertise. And how many of you, and you know it's complex when you have 12 people around the table, how many of you have come up with a plan and it's gone like that? I've gone from A to B, it's worked out perfectly. This is the reality. This is our world, right? And so a growth mindset invites you to realize that at the beginning, to expect it, to not let it be such a setback when you come up against our 12-person plan didn't go as planned. We know that, so what can we learn and how can we change it and what do we do next? And what I find in our teams that really embrace this is that we move forward quicker because we're anticipating this. We're not judging each other, we're not judging ourselves. We can just get up and go, okay, well that didn't work, what's next? Without a whole bunch of judgment in the process. So this visual, I think, is really applicable to our work, and if we can get our teams to understand this, it can be very helpful. I was sharing this once with a group, and the EA was part of the planning process, and when we got to this part, she had tears in her eyes, and I said, what's up? And the weight that she felt personally when the plan went sideways, because she was the one implementing it, and she felt that weight. And to have this acknowledged was such a relief to her. Because, again, she was looking, well, 12 experts made this plan. It should go well. I should be able to do this. And so it's a real gift to everyone. But I think, again, our EAs really need to hear this message that we're not expecting them to be perfect and to make the plan, that we're not blaming them when the plan goes sideways. So this can be a really good kind of, this is what we agree as a team and help us move forward collaboratively. So again, your wonder child this morning, are there any ways when you think of that planning team and the plans you're making for that student, are there ways that you could interject a little bit of growth mindset? Are there people around that table that would be really grateful if they knew that you are anticipating it's going to be messy, that you weren't blaming when things went sideways, and that this is what your belief, like where can you have this in your conversations? And perhaps it's being very intentional about this is what we believe as a team, and just putting it very explicitly out there. I have found that growth mindset has helped me be more compassionate to myself, and I think self-compassion is so important for us in education. We do big, hard jobs, and there's so much of what we do that goes unnoticed because nobody's around to see the amazing work we're doing. And so I think self-compassion can help kind of add fuel to that fuel tank to keep us going. And growth mindset for me has been an important part of that journey.